Hello. Who have we got in the chat? Who have we got in the chat there? Anybody there? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump on to the chat on my phone and see if I can connect with anybody out there. Cool. Just going across finding my own stuff. Hi, Ella. Cool. So I can see that there's a few, well, at least one person on, Ella. So nice to see you. So the plan, once we get a few people on, is to sort of start up a. Strangely enough, I'm trying to find my own stream on my phone so I can jump into the comments on my phone while reading off my computer, and that's proven to be quite challenging. Do you have any questions, Ella, about stuff that I can sort of answer with visuals, etc., while I wait? What I might do just before we get started is send out a little a message to everybody just saying, yep, we're online and ready to go. Cool. So I'll just take 1 second to send out the message. Don't leave, Ella. I will be reading the serial story. That's the main mission of the day. Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's following my every move. Let's send an alert. Be streaming s.s. And we're pushing send alert. Cool. Oh well, so Ella, no questions? How's your work going? If you just type how your work's going into the chat, I'll be able to see it on my phone, and I can help you if you have any questions whatsoever. So Faye hasn't had any comments. Just wondering if you've sent them. Thank you. Oh, that's very interesting. I'm looking at my list of people who I have commented on. Sophia Walton. I don't know how she's on my list. Perhaps it hasn't gone. I will go back and check that after the stream. But it's so good that you're here to be able to say that. It's just not something that I would know otherwise. It's very strange, but I will look into it. Oopsie, sliding all over the place. I think might as well start the story. So if you were on yesterday's part of the live stream, you would have heard that Tom was taken to hospital. The last thing that happened to him was... Hi, Clara. The last thing that happened to him was Mr. Brooker came in to meet him. Mr. Brooker being Tom's father's new lawyer. Cool. I'll read the last sentence we read, and then I'll carry on. Awesome. Ella, you've uploaded your dinosaur writing today. I'll have a look at that after this as well. Awesome. Okay. Tom. How are you, honey? This is Vanessa asking. How are you, honey? This is Mr. Brooker, your father's new lawyer. He's just here to observe you things for a few days. So I've heard, Tom said in a calm voice. So what have you learnt so far, Mr. Brooker? Tom said, snarling at him. That's a good question, Tom. But my job is not to tell tales or to judge. I'm just watching you. Vanessa and your mother's interaction, and a great many things can be found out by watching body language. Once I'm finished today, I can give a truthful report to your father. One thing is for sure, the way your mother lashed out before indicates some kind of mental imbalance, and I would be very nervous telling a judge she was fit to be a parent. Hearing the man's attack his mother personally, Tom was just about to scream at him when Vanessa interrupted with a strong, calm voice. How dare you say that about Lynn? She is Tom's mother. You have been watching us for 5 minutes and you think you're some kind of expert. I don't want her to take Tom away, but she is family. I think you better leave. I'll tell Jack you turned up, trying to scavenge some info. With that, Brooker looked notably put out, turned and made to the door, saying, I know when I'm not wanted. I'll come back when Jack's about. Got to remember, Jack is Tom's father. The room went eerily quiet once Brooker had left, and Tom kept looking at his mum, waiting for her to thank Vanessa for defending her. After what seemed like a decade, Tom couldn't wait any longer. Thanks, Vin. I couldn't stand the way that guy talked about Mum. He said it before looking at his mother, hoping she would add something. With no word from his mother, and the room drifting into silence again, and Tom was starting to feel awkward when Vanessa cut the unpleasant quiet. We're going camping tomorrow. You need to learn a few survival skills, and it will be a good chance to do some bonding before your dad comes back. Tom knew instantly what she meant. Training was starting up tomorrow. Are we going away for the whole weekend? He asked, bubbling with excitement. Yeah, we're going. I thought you would have wanted to come coat shopping with me and Leaf, remember? Said his mother, interrupting Vanessa. Tom sat back pondering the situation. He hadn't seen Leaf in a couple of days and had heaps to tell her, but the lure of more training was hard to resist. Finally, he offered a solution. It's late night shopping tonight. Why don't we go looking for a coat after this? I'll just text Leaf. Hi guys, I can see that there's a lot of chatter going on. Listening to the story, please. Cool. Okay, I'll carry on. I'll just text Leaf. Tom quickly crafted a text before either Guardian could come up with a reason why that solution wouldn't work. Guardian is another name, guys. Sorry, I'm stopping from the story. Guardian is another name for parent, someone who looks after you. The wait was tense, and Vanessa surprised Tom by bringing up football, waffling on how she had missed an A-League final in 10 years. Hadn't missed an A-League final in 10 years. Tom enjoyed the light nature of the conversation and Vanessa, and found himself wishing his mother would just relax and join in. Suddenly, the beeping of his phone interrupted the conversation, and Tom swiped the screen, hoping his weekend would fall into place. You exploded yourself? What next? I didn't think you would want to come shopping. I just wanted some time to do girly things with your mum. My mum is never here, and Mrs. Phillips doesn't really go shopping. We can catch up tonight, but let's save the shopping for me and your mum. XOXO. Tom smiled and read the message out loud, adding, "Problem solving. We're going camping." Chapter 20. Just stopping for a second to check in on the chat. How are you guys going? I'm just typing in there. Any questions? Just going to give you guys a wee chance to ask any questions about anything. So far I know that I've got to check Sophia Walton's work. I'll check her work. Anybody else struggling to get comments or communicate? Cool. I'll check back in a little bit. We're having awesome thank you. Awesome thank you. No thanks. It's all good. Okay, well, I'll carry on for a little bit with the story. Not too much. I'll probably get halfway through chapter 20 and then I'll let you guys go. It's just a little easy chat. Nothing major. Tom woke to Vanessa bashing the door, and as she began to pull him out of bed, the panic in her eyes was hard to miss. "You've got your stuff packed yet?" "I've got your stuff packed. Let's get on the road. I want to be out of the city before dawn," she cried. Already out of bed, Tom scurried across the room, looking for his clothes when Vanessa threw him a jacket and boots. "You'll need these." So, just to catch you up, what happened on whatever happened the night after he got out of hospital isn't written in the book. So we might find out about it later, but it's not written in the book. That's intentional. And he's waking up the next morning, and Vanessa seems very panicked. So I'll get back to reading. "I want to get out of the city before dawn," she cried. Already out of his bed, Tom scurried across the room, looking for some clothes when Vanessa threw him a jacket and boots. "You'll need these," she said, as she walked across to the window and began peering out into the darkness beyond. Tom chucked on the jacket over his pants and t-shirt and jean combo and began to wonder why Vanessa was acting so strange. "What's the matter?" he asked. Careful not to take her eyes out of the darkness, she spoke. "I heard a report from an informant. The Equilibra have heard about your stunt yesterday, and it's only a matter of time before they find us." Tom felt his stomach sink. "But I didn't." Pausing before he finished his sentence, he realized there was no point in lying to Vanessa and asked, "Is there anyone who could help us? Have you got any friends close by?" Vanessa didn't answer, instead spinning around and making for the door. Tom fell into a dark place as he scurried after her, feeling like he had not only destroyed his chances of a normal life, but Vanessa's as well. Running out of the house, overwhelmed by sadness, washing over him overwhelming sadness washed over him as he battled for the idea of never seeing his family or Leif again. By the time they were out of the city, Tom's thoughts were stuck on Leif and his mother. Last night with the two of them had been amazing. They had laughed. Sorry, just stopping from the story. So now he's explaining what happened last night while he's on the motorbike, zooming out of the city. He's thinking about his last night, just so you get that. By the time they were out of the city, Tom's thoughts were stuck on Leif and his mother. Last night with the two of them had been amazing. They had laughed and talked about the future, and hassled Tom in a way he had never imagined anybody else being able to do. Leif had been playing the part of a doting girlfriend so well that Tom actually started to believe it. His mother, of course, had bought it hook, line, and sinker, and was now calling Leif her future daughter-in-law, just to wind Tom up. Shaking his mind free from the thoughts of Leif, he asked Vanessa, "Where are we going?" As the motorbike roared through the mountain passes. "We'll hide up here for the next couple of days. I need to teach you some stuff. Once you have it down, we'll try to disappear to Eastchurch. The bigger city should make us harder to find," she yelled, struggling to be heard over the howl of the motorbike. Suddenly, they turned off the road, and Tom instantly recognized where they were going. The rough mountain trail thinned. He thought about his life on the run and decided he would message Leif once they made it to Eastchurch alive. Jumping off the bike, Tom landed lightly in the snow and began to scan the area, looking for any signs of pursuers. Happy they were alone, he looked up at Vanessa, asking, "Are we going to the clearing?" "Yeah, I know a place better than any other. I know this place better than anyone. If they try to find us up here, we'll lose them in the forest," said Vanessa, and as she began to walk towards the old training point, adding, "If we get separated, meet in the valley where the river does a U. It's a long way down, but it's worth it. They won't be able to track us if we're on the riverbed." Tom unclipped his bag and started marching after Vanessa, warming himself with his spiritual energy as they walked. Everybody still good? Just checking in. I'll read for about 2 more minutes. Finally, making it to the clearing, Vanessa threw down her gear and turned to face Tom. I'm going to assume you still need to do some work on your spiritual fire, but let's have a quick look at something else first. How are you finding absorbing energy from the sun? She asked. It's easy. Feels like I've been doing it for years, he replied, screwing his face up as if the question itself was insulting. Thought as much. It's hard to know with you. Everything's happening so fast. I started to doubt what I was seeing. Vanessa replied before summoning a huge stream of fire and encasing her body in blue flame. Tom watched on, stunned by her control and the sheer power of the heat radiating in his direction. He pulled back, shielding his eyes. Finally, the heat started to die, and Tom looked back and saw a huge circle of blackened grass where the snow once sat. So now that's done, we're going to look at the second form of absorbing spiritual energy. Absorbing kinetic energy. First thing I want you to do is to repeat the process from the first form, but try to focus even more of the spiritual energy into your hands. Instead of a haze that surrounds you, it needs to be thicker, almost like a liquid. Remember, you're not trying to attack with it. It's soft energy. Like with the first form. Looks like this, she said. Tom watched as the thin haze that would normally encase her hands started to thicken, taking on a property of a liquid as it moved towards her hands. Now, punch me, she said. Tom looked at her sideways and offered a limp punch in her direction, getting to within inches of her body before her hand swooped into a block. The sensation of hitting Vanessa's block was like punching water, and suddenly Tom felt that all the power from his punch vanish. Vanessa countered, offering a lazy swipe at Tom's head. Ducking, he charged his muscles with spiritual energy and sent a fist flying towards her face. Just before his punch landed, a blue, watery substance intercepted it, and it felt like all the momentum of his punch vanished. Like he was punching through foam. When his fist connected, it was like a gentle bump on her cheek. Whoa, that's crazy, he said, jumping out of range of Vanessa's counter. This form is used to harness momentum and transfer it into spiritual energy. Very useful in a fight. Any questions about what's been read off so far? Ashley hasn't. Ashley's not tuned in for this one. She's busy doing other stuff at the moment, so it's just me. Thanks. Who asked that question? I can't see Ashley. Matthew Pritchard. Yep. Ashley's not on. That's why you can't see her. Hi, Alice. How's it going? Why did he go to hospital? So Ella, he went to hospital after the ambulance. So maybe you missed the last stream. I'm not sure, but the ambulance. So he blew up his mother's garden shed when he was practicing. That was the last day of school. We talked about how he blew up the garden shed, and then after he blew up the garden shed, they took him to hospital as a precaution, where he met up with Vanessa and his father's new lawyer, and then that's where we started today. And we've read through to essentially people have found out about Tom and his abilities because of the fact that the fire engine and everything came out to meet him out after he blew up the shed. So, yeah. Any other questions about work? Good question, Matthew. Matthew's asking, how did he hardly get hurt when he blew up the shed? Well, that's a good question. If you remember when it was actually happening, he was creating the fireball, and then fire needs two things to work. It needs something to burn, and it needs and it needs oxygen. So if you take the oxygen away, the fire doesn't work. And when it blew up, he pulled the oxygen out of the air. So when he pulled the oxygen out of the air, the fire couldn't get to him. That's all true science. Fires can't burn without oxygen, guys. Ha, good question, Ashley. Nice to see you on the chat. The only person that I'm going to go check on Sophia's work, because apparently she's been doing some work that she hasn't seen any comments on. But other than that, seems pretty good. When will I be doing the next video? I might post some serial stories, but I won't be doing any. You guys need to have a holiday, because basically you've got 2 weeks of holiday, and then you got 2 weeks holiday, then we'll start up again. What inspired you? Eddie, is that about the book? Do we have to do the work? Good question, Richie. I'm pleased that you put that up. As far as we had a literacy assignment that we were halfway through. I'm not going to call you on that. It's been a pretty big change in life and circumstances right at the moment, so I'm not going to hassle you on that. It would be good if you got the chill assignment done, because we are looking to see that in your home learning folder. And the reading exercises, I think, are really cool. The reading and writing ones that were posted on the blog are really cool. So hopefully that helps. Cool. Oh, well, I think that might be it, unless, Ashley, do you want to say a few words, come into Google Hangouts, because I've got it open so that it should work if you want to. Yeah, that's what I've said. Good to see the chill assignment finished. Oscar, what is chill? The chill assignment is the same thing that we hand out. You know, the thing with the 12 boxes on it, and you get to choose one from each area. And you'll get another chill assignment next term, so you need to make sure that you're actually doing them. Thing that we hand out, you know, the thing with the 12 boxes on it, and you get to choose one from each area. And you'll get another chill assignment next term, so you need to make sure that you're actually doing them. Okay, I think that's it then. I'm going to sign this off. Have a good time, and we'll chat start of next term. Give you a rundown of the new chill assignment and work everything out with you. Cool.